everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make this super cute crochet bunny. So it has a tail and some ears, and if you would like to, I will show you how to add a face. In your kit, you will find some yarn, some white yarn, some pink yarn, some black yarn, a baggie full of fluff, a crochet hook, and a yarn needle. You will also need a pair of scissors. To get started making your crochet square for the bunny, you'll make a loop and then another loop. You'll put your fingers through this loop and grab your first loop, and then you'll tighten the yarn nearest your yarn ball. Then you'll take your crochet hook and put it through that loop. And you can tighten it. If you hold this part of the yarn with your fingers, it makes it easier to tighten. Now that we have the loop on our hook, we're going to make a crochet chain. So you wrap your yarn around and hold your knot and pull the yarn through with that hook. So that's one chain. Wrap your yarn around and pull through with your hook. Now you have two chains. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it'll look something like this. We've got 10 chains on our hook and one loop. We need 26, so keep going. Alright, that should be 26. You can count each chain if you would like to. And it should look something like this. Alright, now that you have 26 chains, we're going to do a single crochet into 25 chains. So the reason it's 25 is because we're going to skip this first little chain right there and go to the next one. Put your crochet hook through and pull through one of those loops on your hook. So you should still have 2 loops. And then wrap and pull through both. Okay, let's do that again. Go to the next chain. Just like that. You should see 2 loops on your hook. Wrap it around. So it should look like this. Pull through 1. Wrap it around. Pull through 2. And then to the next one. Pull through 1. Wrap. Pull through 2. And next, through 1, 2, over, nope, doing the wrong stitch, not over, through, over, 1, through, 2, through, over 1, over 2. Through, over 1, over 2. Just like that. Through, over 1, over 2. And you can count to see how many you have. See these little chains right here? They look like V's. Don't count the one on the hook, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 it looks like. So we need 25 of those. So we'll keep going. And normally I would count out loud while I'm doing this, just so that I would know that I have the right amount. You want 25, so you should be doing this 25 times. You can get little yarn ball holders that will hold your yarn in place, and the ball will just kind of roll in the bowl or cup or whatever it is. I've seen some really cute ones that are teacups, and it won't fall out or roll all around the table. So if you get really into crocheting or even knitting or anything that uses yarn and a ball, you should definitely check those out. Now, once you're at 25, you should be right here at the end. You should go through. You shouldn't have to go through your knot. And you're at the end. So, after you've gotten this part done, you are going to need to turn it to go the other way. So technically it shouldn't be doing this. This means that I crocheted too tightly or too loosely. So if you have perfect crochet skills, it shouldn't be twisting like that. But if it twists like mine does, it'll be okay. You will still be able to make a bunny. So what you do when you're at the end of that row is you make a chain. So just like we did earlier, you've got your loop on the hook, loop around, pull through, and now you have an extra loop. So you have 26 again. And now we're going to skip this one right here and go the other way. And you are just going to keep going back and forth and turning and turning. So when you get to the end of this side, you'll do the same thing. You'll make one extra loop and then go all the way down and turn it around and turn it back and turn it around. Every single time, you should have 25 single crochets, or what they're called. So 25 little stitches that you can see from the top. So you can count them every time. You can count as you're crocheting, or you can stop and count. Now, you're going to keep doing that back and forth until you have a square or a rectangle or almost a square. So if it's if it's a square, it should make a nice little plump bunny. If it's more of a rectangle, it will make more of a long bunny. So, if you would like a bunny, kind of like the one I made right here, I did a square for this one. So see how it's a little bit longer? Its face, I could have made its face a little bit longer, but that's what we have. So you'll want a square. Now you've got your square. It's all finished. And you want to crochet all the way around it. I've done some of this already, but we're going to do the end here. So from where you were crocheting before, you're going to just keep going. You're going to go around, and you'll see over here you'll have kind of an unfinished edge like that. It'll be kind of up and down, up and down. And we're going to crochet into that edge just to kind of clean up the sides a little bit. And I go through all these little loops. So you'll want to have a number that's pretty close to 25. It's okay if it's 24 or if it's 26, but it's best if it's exactly 25 that's on this edge, because that means you have a square. But sometimes the height of your rows won't match the height of your columns. So you'll just have to see what makes a square. You'll notice that this isn't quite a square, and there's a reason for that. When I make this bunny, I want it to have a rounder body and not quite as long of a body as this bunny did. So this is my attempt at that. Uh-oh. Sometimes you might have to pull out stitches or just mess with it, but even if your square is not perfect, what we're doing will still work. Just keep going until you've gotten all that side nice and clean. See how much straighter that looks now? And then right here at the end, see where our little knot was? I'm gonna maneuver my hook through there. Maybe. I'm gonna maneuver through this little knot. And I'm gonna pull through both loops. And then I'm gonna pull through this loop right here. And I'm going to leave a little bit of length because we're going to weave that in later. And use your scissors to cut that off. Until now, you shouldn't have had to cut your yarn. And there we go. We've got our square. It can be a little bendy. It's fine. It'll work perfectly for this bunny. All right, we're going to shape our bunny now that we've got a square. Now you can do this if you knitted a square. You can do this if you have a square of fleece or felt. You can do this if you crocheted a square like us. So I'm gonna use a different color just so you can see what I'm doing. But normally I would suggest using the same color. That way it won't show up in your finished product. So I'm gonna use pink since I have that in my kit. And I know I'll have a little extra. For this, you'll go ahead and cut a good length of yarn. I don't really want that there. Probably doesn't matter, but I'd rather not have it. So a good length of yarn like this. And you're going to use your yarn needle. So I'm going to pull it most of the way through. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to make a triangle. So you're going to try to find the middle of the top and somewhere around the middle of the sides. You want to make sure you're in the same row though. You can mark this with yarn or with a safety pin, or they even have special crochet and knitting markers. I have a crayon, so I'm going to go ahead and mark kind of where I want everything to be. And then let's see. It should be right around 13 if you did 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13. So right in here. All right. Now, what you're going to do is start towards that middle section on the row that you decided to make your head end, and you're gonna go in, out, in, out, in, out. Oops, I skipped one. In, out, just like that. This is called a whip stitch, and you just kind of do this back and forth through that line. Now that's the easy part. Once you get that part done, you'll need to go up to here. But you want to make sure you have a good angle, because this is what's going to make the ears. So through, up, through, up, through, up, through. Just keep going. Make sure I have it in the right spot almost. Oh, I need to turn. See, like that? If you mess up like I did right here, that's fine. We can pull it out and adjust. That's one thing that's really great about crocheting. If you mess up, it'll come right out and you can try again. All right, there we go. So you'll have something that looks like that on one side, and you want to go down this way and do it to the other side and then across. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. here we are at our other end. And now we're going to go back this way. And out, and out, and out, and out. To meet the other end. If it's not a perfect line, that's okay. We're going to do some adjusting later. Alright. So now you have a triangle. Once you've sewn your triangle, you'll need some of your stuffing. So you'll open that up. You don't need a whole lot because the bunny's kind of small. And put the stuffing right in the center. Now here's where the magic happens. Pull your yarn. Pull it hard, but not too hard. You don't want it to break. And push. You can kind of adjust the ears a little bit. Pull on one side. And the other side. Keep pulling and pushing. Stuff the yarn into the face. All right, now we're gonna make a knot. I'm gonna make a knot just like this. Just like you would start, well, depending on how you tie your shoes. Start tying your shoes. And now you have mostly what will be your bunny's face. Tie it really tight. We'll do another loop. All right. Now, your bunny has a face, but its ears might look a little big like a bat's. If you want to make a bat, you could probably stop right here and you'd have a bat. Almost. But what we want to do is pull one end of our yarn through. So I'm going to take and thread. Oh, that one's kind of messy. I'm going to take and snip that so I can actually thread the needle. There we go, that's better. Thread the yarn through the needle and push it through right about where it is. All right. So, actually, and then you're going to bring it around right over here at the beginning of this ear. So right there, do you see how it's inside? If you're using the same color thread, you won't be able to see. Okay, so you're going to loop around this side of the ear. You're going to loop through the center of the ear. And you're going to loop through the other side of the ear. And just pull that through. And pull it tight. And then loop back around all the way to that other side of the ear. Again. And pull it super duper tight. So, if you're using the yellow or whatever color you have, it shouldn't be showing up. Mine shows up because I'm using the pink to show you what I'm doing. So there you have one ear. Now we're going to take the rest of this and keep going. If you did run out of yarn, you can go ahead and loop it through like we will do later. So if you watch the video, you'll see what will happen. I have plenty of yarn here, so I'm going to go ahead and do the other ear. And so this time I'm going to loop down through this ear and back up to the beginning of this ear on this side. Make sure that's not stuck there. All right, loop around. Loop through the center of the ear. And loop all the way on the other side. Pull, and then all the way around back to the other side of the ear. And now here's where you pull very tight. So pull tight. All right. Tight, tight, tight. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and loop around that one more time. Just to hold it in place. And I'm going to go through the middle of the bunny's head, just like that. Now, I still have plenty of yarn, so I'm going to keep going with this, but feel free to rethread your needle when you need to. I am going to take and go, let's see, this side. On this side of the bunny. And then all the way around the other side. And I'm going to make another triangle right here. And then down, back up to the top. Pull that tight, just like that. And now your bunny's head is mostly closed up. You can do another loop right in here just to keep it nice and tight. A loop or two, whatever you need to keep it together and tight. Make sure it doesn't go around your ear there. It goes between the ears. Pull. All right, my yarn came off my hook or my needle. Pull it nice and tight. Check to see if there's any other holes to sew up. If you have one of the yarn needles with a big head like this one, it can get kind of hard to push it through. You just let it work its way through. All right. This is looking good. So like I said before, you will want to make sure that you are using the color yarn that you use to create the bunny so that you don't have all these little pink spots like mine does. But if you're using the same color, it shouldn't show up at all. And now we're going to make a knot. So I'm going to find a loop and go through once. And then I'm going to put my needle through this loop like this. And pull. And that should make a knot. I'll do it again just so you can see it. So find yourself a loop to go through. You should have made another little loop. And pull through. Now you've got a knot. You can decide whether you would like to cut this off or just leave the string or yarn there. I'm just going to leave it and tuck it in. If it's the same color, it shouldn't matter at all. Now, I've got this other length of yarn back here. I'm going to go ahead and use that to sew up the back of my bunny. So, thread your needle again. Find a spot right at the beginning. Pull your yarn through. And then go all the way to that other side. And then all the way back over. So it should look like this. And you'll go so, match your sides, go to the other side, so all the way through to this side, just like this. Once again, try to use the same color yarn. I'm just using this pink so that you can see. And you just keep working your way down the bunny's back. You can also put it together like this. And just keep sewing through. Now, if you keep going like this, it'll make a little triangle at the back of your bunny. So the back of your bunny would look like this. And it'd be kind of flat on the bottom. You can definitely do that. There's nothing wrong with that if that's what you would like. But I'm gonna go ahead and stuff my bunny. I'm gonna put this extra yarn from earlier when we were crocheting inside. And then I need a little more stuffing. Make sure it's full, but not too full. You don't want to see the stuffing through your crochet. All right. But I'm going to make it so it's a little rounder at the bottom. So the way you do that is you go in, out, out, in, out, in, out, all the way around. Kind of like what we did when we made our triangle to shape the bunny's head. In, out, in, out, all the way back past where you started. I like to pass it by one. And then you can pull it closed just like that. Magic. All right. Now to keep it closed. Oh no, my yarn. Now to keep it closed, we're gonna go through one of our edges. Pull that through. Your yarn shouldn't break like that. And don't know why mine did. That's okay. Probably means I pulled too hard. And then go over to your other side. This is another one of those places where you want to make sure you're using the same color yarn. It'll just look so much better. Down through the bottom. Pull through. And just keep going until you feel like it's nice and tight and it's not going to fall apart. All right. Once you're done with that, you can make another knot. So find a spot, make your loop and go through. Create that knot. All right. And now you have your little bunny with the back all stitched up and the bottom. And you've got this extra string. So what we're going to do is just push it through like this. Pull it out to the other side of the bunny. Pull and then cut right there. And then you can see that it's right there right now, right? But if you squish it around, it's gone. And now you have most of your bunny shaped. You can cut this off right here if you'd like, or you can weave it in just like we did with that last one. So we'll just go down here just a few times so that it doesn't show up. There's not just a line down our bunny's head. Just like that. And then stick it right through. I've got it going through the ear and to the back. And then find your needle and work it through. Oh, my poor needle. There we go. And then there's your little bit of extra yarn. And you can just work that in. Now your bunny just needs a tail. And if you'd like, a face. Now we're going to make the bunny's tail. So the way I like to do this is use 2 fingers for one of these smaller bunnies. You can make bigger bunnies, by the way, just by making a bigger square. And you just wrap the yarn around those 2 fingers, not too tight. You don't want your fingers to turn purple. And then when you have about that much, make sure you've got some extra yarn and cut. And then you'll push this yarn underneath your fingers. Might have to use your pinky if you did it too tight too, like me. And then through, and if you can get it around and through again like this, so you've got a ball, and then you can pull it tight just like that. Now what you're gonna do is cut this side, cut this side, And then I missed some right there, so I'm going to cut that. Look for all the little loops, make sure you get them all cut. And then you can fluff up the yarn ball. So now you can sew it just like it is there, or you can trim the ends and make it a little bit rounder. Just depends on what you want your bunny's tail to look like. All right, and there you go, a nice little bunny tail, just like that. Now we're gonna sew the bunny tail on. So I'm gonna take some more, wrong one, some more of that white yarn. I'm going to thread my yarn needle. And here's a place where you can make a choice. I'm going to put mine up on top. You can put it on the back. You can put it up a little bit higher or a little lower, just wherever you would like it. I'm going to try to get mine right around this spot. And you push through your bunny underneath the yarn ball. And then I like to pull the yarn all the way through and then go down through the yarn ball to the middle of your bunny. And try to get right underneath the yarn ball, or right under where you would like the yarn ball to be. And then loop back down through your yarn ball and try to get, once again, right under where you would like the yarn ball to be. And pull that. And then through. Once again, right under where you want the yarn ball to be. And pull. Through. Under where you'd like it to be. And pull. Just try to keep the yarn going in and out right next to that yarn ball. That'll keep it from changing the shape of your bunny too much. And go in through the top of the yarn ball when you're pushing it back through. And then you can shape your yarn ball some more if you'd like to, or you can leave it like that. Now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to make our loop like we usually do to make our knot. Pull through and knot. Oh, I lost a bunny tail. And through one more time. Don't lose the yarn off your needle yet. Got your bunny tail, just like that. All right, and now stick it through the bunny and pull it out on the other side. Tug a little bit, cut that yarn, and now your bunny's mostly done. You can stop here if you don't want your bunny to have a face, or you can keep going and learn how to make a simple, super simple bunny face. All right, to make the bunny's face, you're going to need your black yarn on your yarn needle. You can also use black embroidery thread. And I'm gonna make it so I have 2 pieces of yarn going through at one time. So it'll look like this. I'm gonna kind of see where I want my eye to be. And I'm going to go up through and see that I'm skipping one because I want the eye to be a little bit longer. Whoops. Let's try that again. Actually, let's do it a little higher. Right there. So, once it's mostly through, I'm going to hold that and go back through the exact same holes as before. And I'm going to do it one more time. And you'll want to leave it kind of loose. And then I'm going to go back through that same hole as I did before and go across to where I'd like the other bunny eye to be. I wanted to start at the same spot. And be the same size. So kind of just line it up. Through one, skip one, one, and two. If you want it to have bigger eyes, you can keep going and add more to it, but I'm gonna leave my eyes like this. So we're gonna tug that a little bit, trim it as close to the other eye as possible. And then let that yarn kind of go back inside. Try to cover it up with the first eye. And then this one, I'm going to kind of very carefully wrap it around one piece of yarn and pull out through the back. You want to keep it kind of loose so it doesn't mess up the bunny's eye. And then do just a gentle tug right there at the back. Trim your yarn. And now your bunny has two eyes. You can leave it with just two eyes, or you can go ahead and make a nose. For the nose, I'm going to use some pink yarn and do the same thing I did for the eyes, but instead of doing it up and down, I'm going to do it sideways. So you'll thread the yarn. Let's try this side. You'll thread the yarn onto your needle. Once again, I'm going to try to have it be about the same length so that I have two pieces of yarn going through at one time. And I'm going to put my bunny's nose, let's see, right between the eyes towards the bottom. Right there. You can make it bigger if you'd like by going from eye to eye. So that would give him a really wide nose, or smaller by going from this little half spot to this little half spot. But I'm gonna go through my stitches right here. So it'll be that size. Pull the yarn through. And one more. You can also kind of try to push this yarn into the bunny with the end of your needle, if you can get a good grip on it. I don't know if I'll be able to. too. And then there's your bunny's nose. You can go in underneath through the middle or through right here. And pull it back through just like before. Or if you'd like to make it a little face, you can do that too. So if you want to make a face, we're going to go up through right here and try to find just one piece. So that'll kind of make a little triangle, and then go through right here. Kind of do the same thing to the other side of your triangle. This is the part where you can really make the bunny your own. You can give it a different color nose if you want. All kinds of stuff. Just kind of decorate it. All right. Now, I've got a big nose bunny. And I'm going to loop through the top of his nose. And all the way down to this little bottom spot right here that I made earlier. Kind of tighten it. So now I've got a more pointy bunny nose. And then to make its little mouth, I'm going to go right here and then back up to that spot. Just like that. And then back through my hole. On the other side. And over here. And then underneath. And through. And then back up. So you could stop at the bunny having eyes, you could stop at just a nose, or you can give him a whole mouth. It's whatever you'd like. And then at the end, whenever you've decorated the bunny the way you would like to, you just pull the yarn back out and cut it off. And there you have it, a little bunny rabbit. You can play with it and get it just right, just the way you'd like. If you don't like the face this way, it's really easy to just snip, snip. And then pull the little threads out. One at a time. So it's really customizable. You can even think of some other things to add, like bows, or maybe some whiskers, or let's see what else. Maybe a carrot. So if you don't like any of it, it's very easy to change. Just like that. And then it's simple. You should have some extra yarn and you can start the nose again. So I'm going to do that again. I think I'm just going to leave it with that first simple nose. Whoops. Ruined things. So again, for that super simple nose, right between the eyes, those loops right there. Pull. And just keep going until you like the way it looks. Just don't pull too tight. Then when you're done, just loop around one of your little stitches and pull it back through its body. All right, and unless you'd like to add something else, you have finished your super simple crochet bunny. You can play with the ears, you can sew a little more if you would like. You can bend one of your ears down. You can even sew it to here if you want it to be like a lop-eared rabbit. So if you wanted that, you would just sew the sides to the face. It's all whatever you want. I hope you had fun sewing your crochet bunny. Bye-bye.